Hi, I'm Justin Hyland, and I'm going to go over 5 beginner hacks and tricks that can instantly improve your jazz piano playing. We're going to cover how to quickly find a dominant 13 voicing, which is one of the most important chords in jazz piano, a simple way for how to play a cycle of 2/5 chord progressions, some drop 2 voicings, which are real jazz voicings you're going to want to get familiar with, and which I have more videos on in my channel. A cool trick you can do with any voicing when you're accompanying someone else or playing by yourself, and how to improvise over 2/5 with just one scale instead of thinking a new scale for every chord. These are quick, practical tools you can start applying today. And if you like this and want to get the best foundation you could have as a beginner, I have a brand new mini beginner course, the Beginner Jazz Piano Blueprint. It's the exact foundation any jazz pianist needs to go from ground zero to playing real jazz in just a matter of days. In just 1 hour, you'll get a clear, practical roadmap for building rhythm, comping, and improv skills that you can apply to anything in your jazz journey going forward. If you're brand new to jazz piano or coming from a classical background and have no idea where to start or what you should be focusing on, it's exactly what you're looking for. All right, let's dive right in. All right, here's 5 quick tricks and tips and hacks for beginners or even late beginners for jazz piano. First is how to really spot a dominant 13 or how to build one depending on what key you're in. The easiest way I found, and I did this when I was first starting out, was, they're a very weird shaped chord. There's no root in them, and they're just a very odd kind of voicing and structure and layout. So if I wanted to find, let's say, an A flat 13, the easiest thing to do is just take a major triad, so I hope you know that, and you keep the middle note, and the bottom and the top voice will move contrary motion away from each other, both a whole step away. So the bottom note goes down a whole step, the top note goes up a whole step. So okay, let's do it in D flat. How about E? So that can be a quick little helpful thing to identify. Eventually you'll just know them and won't even have to think about doing that. But that can help if you're not sure, and that will get faster. You just have to practice it. Next is a quick little hack to do a 2/5 using just one shape that you move in a half step. So let's say you did a 2/5 to C major. So that if your left hand's playing a root to root 7 to root third. So a root third, root 7, root third again. The right hand will just play this, which is a triad, but it's really the 7, 3rd, 5th of D minor. So it's a D minor 7. When you go to the G7, just move it down a half step. Then you get this nice dominant 13. So root 7, 3, 13 with a flat 9 on top. And to resolve, you can go like this. Right, this is nice, there's no doubling. Or, right, you can have the 6 in there, like a major 6/9. So this is straight out of Bill Evans' school, I guess, if you want to call it that. But he does these kind of 2/5 voicings a lot. Right, it's super versatile, especially if you're playing solo piano, or even if you're just comping, you just take out the root. Let's talk about drop 2 voicings, but just through one key or one tonality. So let's take it in D minor. Now D minor, this is essentially when you voice things or move things through a mode or a scale, you're keeping to that scale. So really D Dorian, all white keys, that's really C major, just starting on D. So it's all white keys. This key's easy. Right, so that you can get some movement if you just, instead of going like, just do it drop 2. So you take the second note from the top, drop it down an octave. So that's D Dorian. It can also be used for G7 or G Mixolydian. And it will work for C major too. The next tip is half-step movement. When you're playing jazz piano, a lot of the times just moving your voicing up and down a half step will sound good, especially with dominants or major, pretty much any chord. But let's take like a dominant voicing. A dominant 13, the 9 on top, this is a nice voicing. Right, just move it up or down a half step. Or let's say if I'm playing, right, if I did a 2-5, like D minor 7, I can approach the G7 a half step above, same exact voicing, just everything's up a half step. Or if you're sitting on a chord, or even, see that was up and then down a half step, and then the target notes. That was almost like using an enclosure of C with a half step above, half step below target note. So even if you were playing like a blues or something, like say a B flat blues, right, you can always approach the 4 chord, the E flat 7, a half step above. So E13 to E flat. All right, the last tip is if you're a beginner, you're going to be spending a lot of time mastering the 2-5-1 progression. And if you're not sure what to play over that, you can think of a key center, just the one thing that'll fit over the entire progression. Now this is pretty basic and it's going to sound a little vanilla, like it's pretty bland, but it's a great starting place. And let's say we did a 2-5-1 to C major. So that'd be D minor 7 to a G7 to C major 7. So C major will work over all of those chords. Right, but you kind of want to get out of the scale mentality. Like I'm just showing it to you because any note will work. Now I'm really restricting myself. I'm not using any sort of chromaticism or like any sort of bebop thing. So a good note to land on is the 3rd, and for every chord. Right, and you can practice. Or even the half step thing. So if you did a different key, I mean, it's just the same thing. Let's say we did to A flat major, right? So A flat major will work over that. So it's a nice little starting place until you want to get that down before you start getting it all to the advanced stuff. Like the altered scale, half-whole diminished scales, augmented scales, all that stuff. So there you go. Leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And these are the kind of insights you'll get if you join my mentorship program. And I'd say 95% of my mentorship program, I don't even show anything related to that on YouTube because it's that good. And if you're interested, just click the link in the description, book a call with me. Let's discuss your goals and see what's holding you back and see how we can up your jazz piano game significantly. If you liked the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and tell me what are some things you want to see hacks on. If you want to go deeper and you're serious, my mentorship program goes far beyond what I'm showing here, which isn't even the tip of the iceberg. The best practice strategies, exercises, and insights I've developed over 30 plus years in music and years of trial and error won't ever be on YouTube. So if you want the full roadmap for yourself and specific structured practice, check out the link in the description and book a call. Let's talk about your goals and what's holding you back. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.